Yo, what is going on, everybody? Caveman Jack, back for another album reaction / review, and we are back live from the studio. Yo, hopefully you guys are having a fantastic week. Now, a couple of months ago, I finally sat down and checked out the monumental, industry-shaping project In Rainbows by the phenomenal band Radiohead. And what a project, guys. For many of you that have been here since my Radiohead start with Kid A, and then going back and working through the projects from Pablo Honey all the way to In Rainbows, it felt like such a monumental moment when we actually had hit. Well, it felt like a monumental moment for me, at least, when we hit In Rainbows. And then just having all you guys' feedback and encouragement throughout this journey has been unreal. I've really enjoyed having those insights from you guys, kind of giving me feedback on songs, the background of the band, the recording sessions, live shows. I've learned so much about Radiohead just from you guys. So keep all the comments coming, because it actually just adds so much more to my experience, because I go into these albums knowing a little bit more about the band each time, which I think is a really exciting thing. Before we head into the King of Limbs, I have noticed that In Rainbows has a disc 2. You guys in the comments mentioned that disc 2 adds another layer and adds another element to the In Rainbows kind of ensemble or experience, at least. So these B-sides, there's only eight songs, but 27 minutes worth of content from this In Rainbows era. So I am excited to kind of just flesh out that kind of sound and kind of close this chapter off before we head into the final two Radiohead albums. I'm imagining the same kind of isolated space surrounding Tom's vocals and that real personal feeling that we had on In Rainbows. Mark 1, I guess, MK1, I'm not sure how we say it, but let's get into it. Man, always so good hearing Tom's voice again. I think he has the same progression on one of the tracks on In Rainbows. I just can't recall which one. Oh, sheesh. There's Videotape's piano. Oh, it is the end of Videotape. Damn, what a song. I didn't expect to hear that Videotape piano this early in the morning. Oh, man. Yeah, it does feel like a continuation of that sound, absolutely.
Get yourself together, level up, buy yourself a hot bath, pour yourself a drink. Down is letting up. What is love but a call? Is that you are? Is that you are?
Yeah, okay. Man, progression always intrigues me on these tracks.
You said unrequired. The future's bleak, so that's sweet.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Because now is letting up.
I love how they're B-sides and they're disc 2. It's just still phenomenal.
Just slip far.
Radiohead. It is always a pleasure. It is always a pleasure. Now, that track did not sound like a B-side. That sounds incredible. That was a fantastic song. The drums, they had so much weight to them. I could really feel them. Like every time that snare hit, I was like, damn. Tom's vocals, man, come on. Like, just at this point, you know, I know you guys know, I know. It's just, it's great every time we hear it. But the harmonies there really added some really bleak and yeah, just darker feelings to that song. The synth, or like that stringy synth, started coming in. It was very orchestral, but it was like a dark sound that just kind of came in, and you could hear it slowly coming into the song, and then it just be full focused, full volume, and then fade out slowly, cut itself off. But that was really effective. That is just a really great Radiohead song. But yeah, let's keep it going, man. Oh, it's good to be listening to more Radiohead. Damn. You just get like, you get speechless when you hear these intros, man, because they're just like the hooks. They hook you just instantly. Second half of this song, the guitar has just been the champion. Oh, the synth, dude. Go Slowly was just such a captivating piece. As soon as you heard that synth come in from the very first note, I was hooked. I was like, yep, this is an amazing sound. Tom's soaring vocals really just, I harp on about it, but truly it's probably my favorite part of listening to Radiohead is just his fantastic voice. Very moving every time you hear it. It's very moving. It's very hard hitting. You can feel it, and that's the kind of vocals that I love to hear. Is when you actually you get goosebumps when you hear the voice. So another little interlude of sorts. So maybe these would have acted as bridges for In Rainbows, or they've been purposely designed for disc 2 as a way to kind of chain the songs together. Man, this just sounds like when they were just making the sounds up for In Rainbows, these just on the synth, just kind of playing around. I imagine there's so many little 50-second kind of tracks like this that they had just of testing out different synth lines, different sounds, whether or not they kind of suited a kind of song that they wanted to make. Oh man. It's a very somber piano here. Sheesh.
Appliances are gone berserk. I cannot keep up, treading on people's toes. If you take me there, you'll get relief. Relief. Please don't interrupt. Just sit back and listen.
You just hear the subtle strumming of the guitar. It's just playing
'Cause
through
I
the
can
left
face
headphone.
the evening straight.
Ooh, nice, nice.
It's too much, too bright, too
Man, Last Flowers was a really somber, beautifully, instrumentally, it didn't sound too diverse in sounds, which I mean that in a complimentary way in terms of it matched the song's kind of tone, I think. That piano, that hard hitting piano just creates such a somber sound. It's so crazy that a band could just play a couple of notes and then I'm already hooked. But I think based on the track record this band has, and whenever I hear that bloody piano, it does. I know there's something very emotional or hard hitting coming. And Last Flowers, I wonder if this was lyrically he talked about points of if I'm going to talk, just let me talk, don't interrupt. Is it him speaking up about a problem or an issue that he's feeling? Is it him finding the courage to finally speak, but he doesn't want to be shrouded by questions? He just wants to just release what's kind of like been hiding inside of him or what's been eating away at him, and then repeating the words relief, relief, relief. Is it just this sense of overwhelming, like clarity and understanding, like finally, like I've released these demons or have actually approached this idea of speaking about them? It's too much, too bright, too powerful. Almost sounds like him explaining why he has to release this and and kind of adds this idea of relief, and this sense of relief is due to how these feelings or whatever's been bottled up is too much for him to just keep holding in. Instrumentally, it was quite a stripped back sound. We still had some really effective placement of the track. So while the verses were playing and I could hear the hard hitting piano, and then just really subtly I could hear the strumming of guitar in the left headphone. So they'd place the track just a little bit to the left, whereas the piano was much more prevalent in the right and kind of in the middle space of that song. And I think maybe that song needed one more piece of instrumentation, and maybe there was some more depth that song could go to. And that perhaps is why it became a B track. Oh, very just electronic sounding kick drum. Very kind of just like dense, just like that really subtle synth that's just really great layering there.
I'm stuck in the tightest, trapped in hyperspace. Watch me dance, I'm a puppet. You can almost see the strings.
Bar to bar. Oh, very 80s sounding synth there. I like that.
I've been wasting my time.
Each verse is getting a lot of space to kind of breathe as the beat will just come back in. The instrumentation just kind of takes focus again.
On the ladder, tied to a stake. On the ladder, we wait for your mistake.
I feel like each of these tracks has been quite unique. Lyrically, some of the things he says is quite poetic in the way that he says it. And it's hard to kind of capture on a first listen, like what exactly his message is on these tracks. It's like over time, like you listen and listen, and sometimes the lyrics, then finally hit. But yeah, a bit bleak, you know. We're up on the ladder. We're waiting for your mistake. Everyone's the same. Probably not my favorite off this disc too, but it feels like one that can kind of grow in stature just because of that drum for me was very warm and very prevalent that I just was like, every time I'd come back to that kick drum, I'd be like, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. But bangers and mash. All right. Bit of energy on this one.
I'm standing in the hall, I'm puking on the wall. It's all heading south to the Congo. The bangers and the mash, the nigga is for cash. Got out in a club, baby, all your night. Whatever turns you on, whatever gets you up. Chief of police, a vice chancellor. If you are on the top, then it is a long drop. The pyramid is power, you change your body out, back into your soul.
I like this track. I like it. Great change of pace, man.
I'm taking you down, I'm standing in the hall, I'm kicking up the wall, yeah, because you bit me, bit me.
Now, usually it takes me a little bit longer to fall into some of the kind of rockier sounding Radiohead songs. You know, a couple of the tracks off previous albums have taken me a little bit more time to fall into. It's just based on my music taste. And over time, quite often, they hit pretty hard at a certain point. But that one, I loved it. I loved the energy on it. I felt like it kind of captured a little bit. It was a little bit more fun, a little bit more, I don't know, it had like a little bit more of a, not a relaxed feel to it. I'd just say that carefree. The song felt very carefree. I'm sure lyrically it still had many depths, but it just kind of had a kind of fun nature to it. I like the quirkiness, bangers and mash. You bit me, you bit me. It's just like, I like the quirkiness of that song. Each song just takes you on such a wild ride, man. Like, where are we? You know?
This is just a nightmare. Soon I'm gonna wake up. Someone's gonna bring me round, just like everybody. Stepping over heads, running from the underground. This is a warning, 4-minute warning.
Beautiful tone, man. 4-minute warning was just a really beautiful closer to disc 2. Just a really warm vocal performance there. There wasn't a multitude of layers seemingly to his vocal chain. A couple of harmonies here and there. Yeah, just really nice, like the kind of shaker and the real simple beat there. Just some nice synths that came in. The bass guitar I also noticed was quite moving on that track as well. Just a really beautiful piece. 4-minute warning resembling this idea of just kind of get yourself through this rough patch and kind of focus on the preceding good that will come. You just got to get through this nightmare. You will wake up soon. That's how I'm going to take that song at least. This too, man, it does feel like an extension of In Rainbows for sure. And what I loved about In Rainbows was the vulnerability and the isolation that a lot of the songs contained. Felt very emotive. Radiohead are very much a very emotive band. I understand that, but In Rainbows just had this level of, I don't know, emotion that we probably got the most emotion and vulnerability that I'd seen on a project from Radiohead. These are side Bs, like these are B tracks. Like, it just shows the craftsmanship and the excellent work that this band can do. I'm sure they refined and rounded up some of these tracks for disc 2, but it just shows the groundwork was already set in stone, and they were trying to obviously work out what songs were going to make the album, which ones didn't. Unfortunately, these songs didn't make the cut, but Radiohead were nice enough to release disc 2 and present the rest of these B tracks to the world. I imagine there were so many other demos and unreleased stuff, and it is a little bit of a placeholder while we wait for the King of Limbs. I think the King of Limbs will be coming sooner than later. I've got a fair amount of stuff that I'm working through and kind of excited to be sharing with you guys, and then we will get to Radiohead. But yeah, Radiohead is such a special band to me now. It's such a special band to this channel as well. For me, it feels like if I think back to where we listened to Kid A and all the music, including Radiohead, that we've listened to till now, it's just a really overwhelming sense of just gratitude and enjoyment that I've been able to check out such great music over that period. Appreciate you guys sitting down with me and checking out disc 2. If this is your first time checking out disc 2, what did you guys think? And if it was not your first time and you have listened to this disc multiple times, as I'm sure a bunch of you have, what are your favorite tracks off of disc 2? Do you feel like some of these songs potentially could have replaced some of the songs on the full In Rainbows? Let me know. I'd be very intrigued to hear what you guys think. If you guys, all right, I'll put this to you. If you guys had to make a track list, what would the track list be for In Rainbows? It can be that, you can tell me that you'd remain In Rainbows the same, and that's fine. But if there's some tracks off disc 2 that you would replace and switch over, you're not getting rid of them because they just alternate onto discs. But I'd love to hear, if you guys had to make a track list for In Rainbows, what would it be? Thank you guys once again for sitting down. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of my Radiohead reactions, I've got plenty on the channel. I've got all the way up to disc 2 now of In Rainbows, so you guys can go back and have a listen. So hopefully you can find something on the channel that resonates with you and an album that you've enjoyed or fall into, and find a new album that you've never heard before. Take care, guys. My name is Caveman Jack. That was In Rainbows disc 2 by the phenomenal band Radiohead, and I will see y'all in the next video. Cheers.